Hi, good morning. Today we are going to start our new chapter, Bounded Linear Operators, the fourth chapter. Last classes we have discussed about the dual spaces and we are also discussed about linear functional. Now what do you mean by linear functional? It's a function from x to R or C, any field, and that map is linear. Here we are discussing about bounded linear operators. Okay. Now what do you mean by a linear operator? Let x and y be Banach spaces, and let T from x to y be a linear map. Okay, defined on x. Then we call T is a bounded if there exists a C such that norm of Tx less than or equal to C into norm of x for all x belongs to x. Here clearly Tx belongs to y. So norm Tx is here, norm is norm on the space y. Okay. Here x clearly belongs to capital X. Therefore, this norm is norm on x. This norm is norm on y. Therefore, norm of Tx less than or equal to C into norm of x for all x belongs to x implies we call T is a bounded linear operator. Actually, bounded linear map. T is the map from x to y. Okay, and we call in this section we call T as an operator. Okay. Now, if T is bounded, we define, as in the case of linear functional, we define norm of T is equal to supremum of supremum x not equal to 0, norm of Tx by norm of x. Here this norm is on y and this is a norm on x. Okay. Now, if there is another result, if this Tx is less than or equal to C for every x belongs to x with the norm of x equal to 1. Listen carefully. This norm of Tx less than or equal to C for every x with the norm of x equal to 1. Then what happens? Norm of Tx by norm of x less than or equal to C by norm of x. But our norm of x is 1. Therefore, this is equal to C. Therefore, if norm of Tx less than or equal to C for every x belongs to x with the norm of x equal to 1 or less than or equal to anyway, no problem, equal to 1, norm of Tx by norm of x less than or equal to C. Okay, and if you take supremum, this supremum value also less than or equal to C. This implies norm of T is less than or equal to C. Okay, thus we get if norm of Tx less than or equal to C for every x belongs to x with norm of x equal to 1, then norm of T is less than or equal to C. Okay, hope it is clear. Now there are so many results in this section, and I am marked each result as some problems. Okay, so first result is actually the family of linear bounded operators is a linear space with respect to the addition and multiplication of operators by scalar. We denote this space as L of xy. Okay, so L of xy consists of set of all bounded linear operators. Okay, that means L of xy is set of all t from x to y such that t is linear, also t is bounded. Okay. Now, you have to check whether this is a vector space over addition and multiplication of operator by scalar. For example, what about the addition? T1, T2. T1 is a map from X to Y. T2 is a map from X to Y. What about T1 plus T2? Clearly, T1 plus T2 is a map from X to Y, and we define T1 plus T2 of X is equal to T1X plus T2 of Y. Okay. Also, CT is a map from X to Y. We define CT of X is equal to C into T of X. So you can easily verify addition is commutative, associative, identity element. What about the identity element? Zero transformation from X to Y is the identity element, and clearly that is bounded. Okay. So for T belongs from X to Y, minus T is the inverse. Okay. So all properties hold. Similarly in the case of scalar multiplication. This is very easy to prove. Okay. Now come to next problem. Norm of T equal to supremum of X not equal to 0, norm of T X divided by norm of X. This defines a norm on L of XY. There is another notation for L of XY, that is L of X to Y. Okay. Now we have to check whether this form a norm on L of XY. Okay. First property. What about norm? Norm is clearly we have to prove norm of T is greater than or equal to 0, and T equal to 0 if norm T equal to 0 if and only if T equal to 0. Okay, that is our first condition for norm. So we have this is equal to this one, and clearly this is a norm on Y. Okay, therefore norm is greater than or equal to 0. Okay, therefore this value is always greater than or equal to 0. Therefore the supremum of these values always greater than or equal to 0. This implies this also positive. I forgot to write this. Okay. Just note down norm of Tx greater than or equal to 0. Also norm of X greater than or equal to 0. This implies this term is greater than or equal to 0. Therefore supremum also greater than or equal to 0. This implies norm of T is greater than or equal to 0. Now suppose norm of T equal to 0. That means supremum of this value is equal to 0. That means this supremum value, already we have supremum of this greater than or equal to 0, and the supremum value is equal to 0 implies norm of Tx by X equal to 0 for every X. That means norm of Tx equal to 0 for every X. That is Tx equal to 0. Norm of X equal to 0 implies X equal to 0. That means Tx equal to 0 for every X. This implies T equal to 0. Okay. Similarly, the converse one. Suppose T equal to 0. Suppose T equal to 0. Then Tx is also equal to 0. Therefore, supremum of this X not equal to 0, norm of Tx by X is also equal to 0. This implies norm of T equal to 0. Okay. This you can write as if and only if. Okay. Now the second condition of norm of lambda T equal to supremum of norm of lambda T of X by X, norm of X, and this you can write as like this using norm of property. Here this is a norm on Y, therefore you can write like this, and mod lambda is positive, therefore you can write like this, and this is equal to lambda into norm T. Okay. Now what about the triangle inequality? Let T1, T2 belongs to L of XY. Then norm of T1 plus T2 is equal to supremum of norm of X not equal to 0, this one. Okay, using the definition. And supremum of A plus B is, norm of this value is less than or equal to norm of T1X plus norm of T2X, because this is a norm on Y and the triangle inequality hold, therefore you can write like this. Okay, and this you can write like this, and supremum of A plus B is equal to supremum of A plus supremum of B. Therefore, you can write like this, and that's equal to norm of T1 plus norm of T2. Thus, we get norm of T1 plus T. Thus, we get norm of T1 plus T2 less than or equal to norm of T1 plus norm of T. Thus, norm T satisfies condition 1, 2, 3 of norm. This implies norm T defines a norm on L of xy. Okay. Therefore, L of xy is a normed space, and L of xy consists of all bounded linear map from x to y. Now, next one. Prove that norm of Tx less than or equal to norm of T into norm of x for every x belongs to x. You have done for every x belongs to x. Prove that norm of Tx less than or equal to norm of T into norm of x for every x belongs to x. Okay. So, suppose x equal to 0, then Tx equal to T0 equal to 0, and norm of Tx equal to norm of 0 equal to 8. Okay. This implies norm of Tx less than or equal to norm of T into norm of x if x equal to 0. Okay. Actually, this is equality. Okay. Now, suppose norm of x equal to 0. Suppose norm of x not equal to 0. Then norm of T is this one. And clearly, each of these term is less than or equal to supremum. Therefore, norm of Tx by norm of x less than or equal to supremum of this value. Okay. As x not equal to 0, this is defined. Okay. And this is equal to norm of T. Therefore, norm of Tx less than or equal to norm of T. Norm of Tx by norm of x less than or equal to norm of T. This implies norm of Tx less than or equal to norm of T into norm of x. Therefore, if x is not equal to 0, then we get this is equal to, this is less than or equal to norm of T into norm of x. In x equal to 0, we get inequality. Therefore, norm of Tx less than or equal to norm of T into norm of x for every x belongs to x. Now, the last problem. If H is a Hilbert space, then for every bounded linear operator A from H to H, we have norm of A is equal to supremum of modulus of inner product Ax, Y, such that norm of x less than or equal to 1, comma, norm of y less than or equal to 1. Okay. Now, we get, we have already proved one problem. In the case of linear functional, norm of T is equal to supremum of, norm of f equal to supremum of modulus of f of x such that norm of x less than or equal to 1. In the same way, we will get here also we get norm of T is equal to supremum of norm of Tx such that norm of x less than or equal to 1. Therefore, here operator is A, therefore norm of A equal to this one. Okay. Now, what is modulus of inner product Ax, y? We have this result. Modulus of inner product of xy less than or equal to norm of x into norm of y. Using this result, we have this one. Okay. Now, if we let y is equal to Ax by norm of x, then what about norm of y? Norm of y is actually 1, and inner product of Axy is equal to this one, and that's equal to norm of Ax. Okay. Thus, we get inner product of Axy equal to modulus of inner product of Axy equal to norm of Ax provided Ax not equal to 0. Okay. Here, if you take y is equal to Ax by norm of Ax. Okay. Okay. Thus, we get modulus of inner product of Axy less than or equal to norm of Ax into norm of y for every y belongs to x, and this implies norm of modulus of inner product of Axy less than or equal to norm of Ax for every y with norm y less than or equal to 1. Clear? Also note, if y is equal to Ax by norm of x, we get norm of y equal to 1, and modulus of inner product of Axy is equal to norm of Ax. Listen carefully. We have modulus of inner product of ax y less than or equal to norm of ax for every y with norm of y less than or equal to 1. Clear? And if you take y is equal to ax by norm of ax, then norm of y equal to 1 and this value equal to ax. The maximum value of this modulus is norm of ax. But if you take y is equal to this one, then this modulus value attains its maximum value. Okay, clear? Therefore, supremum of modulus of ax y, y belongs to x, norm of y less than or equal to 1 is equal to norm of x. How? This value is less than or equal to norm of x for every y with this condition holds. And clearly this member, this is a member belongs to our capital Y. Y ax is in y, ax by norm of x is also in y, and this small y belongs to capital Y, and small y satisfies the condition norm of y equal to 1, and clearly this belongs to set of all y with the norm of y less than or equal to 1. Okay. So for that y, the maximum value of this mode, for that y, the value of mode inner product ax y is norm of x. Okay. So supremum, if you take supremum, then clearly there exists a point at which supremum attained. Okay. Maximum value is ax, norm of x. Therefore, supremum of modulus of ax, y, y belongs to x, norm of y less than or equal to 1 equal to norm of ax. Hope it is clear. Because clearly there exists a point at which this value attained. Therefore, supremum value is this value. Okay. So using 2 in equation 1 we get norm of a equal to supremum of, actually supremum of norm of x. Supremum of norm of ax such that x less than or equal. But supremum of norm of ax is this one. Supremum of modulus of inner product ax y such that y belongs to x, norm of y less than or equal. And this is equal to supremum of modulus of supremum. Okay, this is again a supremum of modulus of inner product ax y, x comma y belongs to x such that norm of x less than or equal to 1, norm of y less than or equal to 1. Okay. Therefore, in the case of Hilbert space, norm of a equal to supremum of modulus of inner product ax y such that x comma y belongs to x such that norm of x less than or equal to 1 and norm of y less than or equal to 1. Hope it is clear for you. Okay. So today we have discussed the definition of bounded linear operator, and we have proved norm t equal to supremum of x not equal to 0, norm of tx by norm of x is a norm on L of xy. Okay. Hope everything is clear for you.